point to honor and recognize breast cancer awareness. And now we are ready for some pickleball.
That's one way to get started. A little trickle on the side of Stratman and Frazier. Excited to see this duo back together. They've played several events, including finding themselves in terms of a best finish alongside one another in a bronze medal matchup. They did not win back in 2022 in Atlanta. However, they did make it that far. So fun to see them in this quarterfinal matchup.
Also love Dylan Frazier sporting the pink Selkirk paddle here today in support of breast cancer awareness.
Everyone's settling into, so important to note the conditions with the temps reaching well above 90 degrees. The style of play has been significantly different. And it's making for a really fun style in the fact that there's so much defense because it's so hard to put the ball away. That thing has become pretty soft and mushy to this point, so the defense is on point as well.
Nice attack from Lauren Stratman. And to your point about the ball play, Ben Johns described it earlier that it's still flying, but it's softer for sure. So it's an interesting mix of things to be working with, element-wise.
Yeah, the dry air, the altitude, that also is going to make that ball rise and float. So players have been making some pretty significant adjustments.
Nice ball from Dylan Frazier down the line, and Annalie Waters. How about this? A 4-0 start for the 8 seed, Lauren Stratman and Dylan Frazier.
Michelle, one of the areas I'm going to be really looking to is Dylan Frazier, just in terms of watching Annalie Waters potentially attack off the bounce and where he's going to position himself along the kitchen line.
Waters mixes in the lob just long. And where do you think Frazier should be positioning himself on Annalie Waters?
I think it's going to be a pretty adaptive position for him, depending on what's coming his direction.
Yeah, she can change it on a dime.
So you can see he's already kind of shading to that backhand side. The reason being, Annalie Waters just one of the best at the forehand rolls, as is her opponent, Lauren Stratman, but she loves to attack off the bounce and especially go up the line at the guy in front of her. So he's going to kind of sit a little bit more backhand heavy here.
Ben Johns on the attack.
But that's the risk you run, right? So Ben Johns able to come across the middle, and if Dylan Frazier's sitting a little bit more towards that backhand side, he is not able to find that forehand. That's a really nice pickup from Ben Johns.
2-4-2. Side out.
A lot of pressure from Lauren Stratman, and a nice 4-2 lead continues for the 8 seed. Oh, she had the opening, Lauren Stratman on the line. Tough one to miss when you only get that chance every so often on Ben Johns.
So rare, and really nice deception there, just a little unlucky on the net.
Ooh, denied twice. Now on the side of Stratman and Frazier. Talked to Dylan Frazier briefly before this. Asked him how this partnership came together. It's their 5th time playing together, Stratman and Dylan. It was partly because they found out they were on the same Major League Pickleball team, but they would have played together anyways, according to Dylan Frazier.
Yeah, and it can be a really nice team in terms of complementary play. With Lauren Stratman and her great forehand rolls, she can be pretty aggressive in mixed doubles, which is great, and impart pressure to the cross court, getting Dylan Frazier involved.
Ooh, Stratman thought she had it down the middle.
But that is a great ball from Leigh Waters. She goes cross court at the right time, recognizing Dylan Frazier sliding more towards that line, space available. He had been sitting more middle.
Good ball from Frazier.
And it's almost the exact same shot, right? Through the middle on the forehand side. Lauren Stratman seeing Ben Johns just about 1.5 feet behind that kitchen. Just hooking it. She had the right move, about 1.5 steps towards the center line right there, but just caught too close to her hip. When you're
Yes. Ben Johns on the attack. He has found his game early.
Yeah, it's a really nice combination right there, picking his spots.
A couple of balls from Dylan Frazier earning that serve back on his side.
4-7-1.
Ooh, a little bit of trouble there almost for Stratman and Frazier. What a point, though. A couple of times Frazier found some openings on Waters, pulling her off the kitchen.
Yeah, and I thought there was actually an earlier opportunity for Dylan Frazier to come in off that lob that went over Leigh Waters' head.
When you're looking for offensive creation from Frazier, there you have it.
Yeah, really solid job starting to crash more into the middle. It's going to be imperative for these two to find some offense, especially Dylan Frazier. You're kind of seeing him pick his spots in terms of coming over to that right side further, getting involved in a dink rally.
Just 21 years old, Dylan Frazier, current student at University of Missouri.
What a combination. Lauren Stratman goes up the line twice, then speeds up through the middle. Another really solid area, trying to keep Ben Johns at bay towards that sideline.
Waters speeds it up directly on Dylan Frazier.
7-7-2.
First third that's really been missed from Dylan Frazier. They've actually sent, I would say, more than about 75% of the returns his direction, trying to keep him at the baseline.
Oh, what defense from Waters. Stratman was on the attack that point.
That's just an incredible snag right there from Leigh Waters, coming and covering middle, recognizing the pattern that's happened several times, which is double up the line and then through the middle. Great job by her.
Second serve.
Serve was just out, looking to protect a 1-point lead. Is Leigh Waters, the second server.
Point.
Missed return from Frazier. 2-point lead now for the 1 seed. Only lost once on the season to J.W. Johnson and Georgia Johnson. Other than that, pretty tough team to beat. Frazier is hoping he's up for the task.
I'm really impressed right now from Stratman and Frazier, and just in some of these hands battles, their ability to hit the backhand side of Johns and then push him to the sideline, creating space.
Second serve.
Looking for that same backhand shot from Frazier.
7-9-2.
Oh, some scrappy defense from Leigh Waters. Frazier and Stratman had to get creative on their side.
There was a ball right in the middle of that rally. Lauren Stratman, just great control, able to get that back cross court away from Johns.
Waters all over the pop-up chance. 1-point game continues. Serve returns to Waters and Johns.
And those half volleys, that's all about touch. You could see Dylan Frazier right there kind of going fist in the air, a little frustration, just getting tripped up off the bounce.
Oh, what a shot from Lauren Stratman. Beautiful ball on the line.
And again, it's almost as if she kind of hesitates on her finish, because if she fully finished back over her shoulder, that ball could have easily gone wide.
Nice deep ball there for Stratman. Finds the corner, gets the serve back. No points for Johns and Waters.
8-9-1.
Oh, wow. Tough ball for Frazier to get back, and then Ben Johns buries it to the corner.
How about the no panic mode from Leigh Waters? She couldn't even see that ball as she's chasing it all the way to the back corner. Just a great linear drive over the top of the net.
That's a nice shot from Dylan Frazier. He ties it up.
What's remarkable about that ball is that he actually took the pace off and sent that ball directly down at the feet, not allowing for the combination from Leigh Waters.
Side out.
Oh, he had the look he wanted. Just sitting right through the middle.
9-9-1. Second serve.
Interesting, too. They didn't go with a third shot drive here on the side of Johns and Waters while the stack is getting unwound on the opposition.
Ooh, pop-up chance taken by Ben Johns. What a rally.
Talk about beautiful dinking on both sides of the net. Just
10-9-2.
Waters with a chance to take game one here. Stratman wanted the speed up on Ben Johns, who wasn't.
And Michelle, I think that's the first third shot drive we've seen the entirety of this match. With these a little bit slower conditions, it's tougher to have that third shot drive be as effective. And I guess the next question would be, well, what is effective? Are you looking to find a winner on a third shot, or are you looking to just be able to third shot drive and then crash on that fifth to be able to drop? So third and fifth drive drop combination.
What would you say the answer to that would be?
The last two, you've seen kind of that third shot drive and just drop in. It's another nice way. It also keeps them honest up at the kitchen in terms of getting that hand speed going, but interesting that they both started with it here in game two.
Oh, Frazier was ready for the pace, and a let cord twice in a row now.
It's actually been a little up-tempo on all parties to start game two.
Similar start to game one, 3-0 for Stratman and Frazier.
Second serve.
It's a heck of a wind-up. I mean, I don't blame her. Lauren read that so well. She was so prepped, but a little too big of a swing on that one. Mistimed it.
Point.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that in terms of a third shot. That's a little bit more of a hybrid ball from Dylan Frazier. Just about a few inches above the height of the net. Good pace, but it's still dipping down. That would have hit just within a foot of the kitchen line or behind it.
Ben Johns doing Ben Johns things. The torque on that backhand is so impressive.
Now look at this, just the amount of reach, that elbow, and what a shot for our crew.
In the angle. Missed return from Lauren Stratman. We've been talking about the elements. Altitude is one of the factors in a mushier ball with the heat. Just wide for Frazier. A lot of pressure from Ben Johns, and Annalie Waters set that up by cracking one down the line on Frazier. Let cord now in favor of the 1 seed.
Yeah, and we got a chance to see just within the last two rallies, just great technique from Annalie Waters on that forehand roll. And what makes it so dangerous is it looks exactly the same when she's going cross court as it does when she's going up the line.
And how is she able to do that so effectively?
I think a big part of it is, especially when you're dinking on that forehand side, is keeping the ball in front of you and actually
stacks her at the sphere. Learned that from his lovely mom.
Nice shot from Ben. Yeah, that sphere, pretty incredible. 1.2 million LED lights bring that thing to life. I saw it from the top of the Strat the other night, and it is so fun to watch.
It's long for Frazier.
Yeah, and there's a two-handed speed up from Ben Johns on the backhand side.
6-4-1. Point.
I think he may have just caught the last centimeter of the outside of the line.
7-4-1.
Oh, it was out of bounds, actually.
Inside out roll from Annalie Waters. That was impressive.
And that's not possible without the Ben Johns third, right? Her ability to trust him, really get into that kitchen line, because she's straddling the center line at that point.
Wide on the third that time for Ben Johns. Speaking of thirds, Annalie Waters says it's one of the things with this new carbon paddle she's sporting that she loves about her game development.
Yeah, I always think it's really cool with carbon paddles because you get a chance to not only generate great pace and speed, but also there's really solid control that can be had depending on the width of the paddle.
Cameron's referencing that new signature paddle for Annalie Waters. How would you explain the differences of what she was using to the carbon fiber technology after this point?
I think one of the biggest differences is not only the texture and the facing of the paddle, but also how the ball can almost come in and out of it because of that carbon material. So it actually can come in and just ricochets off, whereas before it might have had a little bit more of a slide to it and not as much grit.
That's a nice put away from Dylan Frazier.
And because of that texture, and we've seen it really come into most paddles now in terms of technology, it allows actually her to create some new shots. More heavy spin on her slice, which she's been utilizing. We saw a lot in the game of singles yesterday.
Point. Timeout receivers 9-4-2.
Another timeout called for Stratman and Frazier, trailing by Farrah Black and Christian Elshot, punching their ticket through to the semis. Ben Johns, oh, I thought the point was over before it was over. Thought that ball was wide, but hey, why not? Pad the stats a bit.
In the words of Dave Fleming, Burt you very much.
Match point for Ben Johns and Waters. Oh, that heavy angle on the inside out roll from Ben Johns, an effortless touch.